I guess there were some people who disagreed with our take here, and they thought that it was not a success. They didn't like it at all. Um, and I figured we can run through some of the things that we've seen on the Twitter sphere and or the X sphere, whatever you'd like to call it, and just have some thoughts. My first one's one of my favorite ones. League's Cup was rigged for MLS and MLS only, and specifically for Lionel Messi to win everything, um, because they had a very clear and defined path for that to happen. I'd like to hear your take on the ways that MLS giga-brained this tournament such that Messi was the only one who could possibly win it.
Well, I mean, I thought it was pretty clear from game one that the script for Messi was in place and it was going well. I mean, free kick in the last minute of the game to win it, like, come on, at least hide it a little bit. Uh, I mean, yes, it's very obvious that it's not rigged, but I will say that there are things that definitely gave MLS sides an advantage over the League MX sides, and we'll talk about it at some point. I'm sure we'll find the right time in the episode to talk about it, but definitely not rigged. Definitely not rigged for Messi or MLS sides. But I do think there were some advantages to the MLS sides. But I still think overall it wasn't like a huge advantage that like completely changed the entire landscape of the tournament. But I think it's something that they should work on for next year.
I'm just curious how the anti MLS crowd comes in and says that. And then when they ask how, and they point to one single referee decision, they're like, it's rigged for the entire league and for the best player in the world to be the best player in the world. Like they've never watched a game before where a referee missed a call.
Yeah, seriously.
And I've never like it's just really funny to me because they will complain and I say anti MLS crowd, but it's also League MX crowd was there. And I'll point to the Club America game, one of the most exciting games in the tournament, where Club America scores on a penalty kick in the 91st minute from a sketchy handball, and nobody says a word. Nashville comes down in the 99th minute. Sam Surridge scores, gets to penalties. Nashville loses on the last kick. Fans storm the field. It takes 15 minutes for them to get off the field because the referees are trying to clear them. Then they say, "Hey, nobody leave. VAR is telling us that we need to retake this kick." So they clear all the things out. They go, they score. Club America ends up losing, and everybody is trying to put screenshots up that say, "Well, what about this, 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 and this?" Without actually recognizing that the VAR made the correct call in this instance. Were there missed calls everywhere? Yes. You can point out a lot of them. Philadelphia had a goal called back in the third place game last night that called Daniel Gazdag offside, who was, I think, three defenders away from the play. Never stood in front of the goalkeeper, never touched the ball, never did anything in terms of influencing the play, and they called a third goal back for offside, and nobody said a word. But because it wasn't against Liga MX or it wasn't for a Messi to win it all type of thing, nobody cares. Like if you were to break down every game, and I'm not going to, but if you were going to break down every single game and every referee decision, you will find that those calls even themselves out. It's just the way the game works. You can do it in any league, any tournament, any country. It's football. That's how this thing works. It's how it always works. To say that it was rigged for MLS to do it because the referee missed one call and the greatest player in the history of the game hit a game winning free kick is silly. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on it. Um, did you see any other calls that you thought were really funny that you wanted to share?
No, nothing's coming to the top of mind. I don't know. I wasn't really focused on right and wrong referee calls. I mean, it's like you said, people will always remember the calls that go against their favorite team. Nobody will ever remember the calls that went for their favorite team.
Yeah, that's correct. And by the way, that foul that set up Messi's first goal for Miami, the game winner, that was a foul. Like, it's soft, but it's a foul. He came through the back of him. Did Messi go down easy? Yeah, but so does everybody else. Like, if that was a Club America player, or I think they were playing Cruz Azul, that was a Cruz Azul player doing it on the other side, and they didn't, and they gave it, nobody would have said a word. But they're just mad because it was Messi, right? And I get it. You need a villain in every game and whatever, but a lot of the calls that people were complaining about were actually the right calls, and they were just upset because their team lost. I don't know. And that's both ways, by the way. Like, MLS got a couple of calls against them that I thought at first was a bad call, and they it ended up being the right call, and it's like, okay, good, you got the right call. And they also got hurt by calls that shouldn't have been given, and that's just the way the game works. So, um, the next